Hello, Blue Gummy. This is the Blue Gummy podcast. Back here with another live podcast here for the Monday live show. And if you are brand new to the podcast itself, please make sure to like and subscribe to the podcast itself, and make sure to give us some feedback on the podcast on all of our socials on Instagram, Facebook, and also on TikTok, and on Apple Podcasts, and also on Spotify as well. As you can both listen to both Spotify and also Apple Podcasts itself for the Blue Gummy podcast as well. And let's get into a brand new episode of the Blue Gummy podcast. I'm not sure what episode we're up to because I'm just trying to get the used to of these live things for the podcast itself. But I will be able to start uploading these type of podcasts itself. I actually forgot to actually upload their last live show, which I'll probably do that for both Spotify and also for Apple Podcasts. If you are wanting to actually listen to that, um, and you probably would have had by now as I would have uploaded that, but still, I do want to just let you guys know that um, we are doing these live shows for now on, and in case if people have missed out in the last live stream, we are pretty much. Sorry, I am pretty much doing these because for me to edit these videos just takes a lot of time, and I just don't have the space and our time to really just to fit all of this in to really do, and it's just very crap at the moment, especially with other priorities that I have at the moment. And yeah, um, I just really hope that these live shows are gonna really improve on the podcast itself. And yeah, sit back and relax, and don't be afraid and shy to really answer on what you want to ask me for both the men's and the NRLW game as well. And yeah, let's get into the new episode for the Blue Army podcast. So let's get into the NRL game as I did promise. Um, After Saturday's night, Brave first half lost when we only held the Sydney Roosters by 4 points to nil. Let's see. I'm gonna share the screen right now. Here we are. Yeah. So pretty much all started with a few minutes in. Our defense was pretty good, and pretty much that no try there. I think I think it was when, I think it was a grubber kick there being put in there for Daly Cherry Evans, where he's gone and dive over and tried to put the ball down, which it was actually a knock on from Daly Cherry Evans, which he has successfully knocked it on, and that was pretty much um, that was pretty much overturned from the bunker, which that was correct. And pretty much a few minutes later, when the Roosters were trying to get a line break there from Cody Ramsey, which Cody Ramsey's footwork and also line break was absolutely just fan fantastic, and just razzle stuff from him, and he looked it very intimidating by his speed and by his attack. And this was possibly his best ever performance in quite a while since playing for the Dragons. And look, they put us under some great pressure there when Jonah Pezzett took in the line drop out there, and then Joshua Carr and who was it? I think it was Joshua Carr and Isaiah Iongi and Sam Tuvati tried to push out Mark Nawawinte Waze out on the sideline there, but then Marky Mark just decided just to do some former rugby union magic to throw that absolute fantastic back flick pass there out to Robert Toya. And unfortunately, Araz Nava, he didn't have the strength to really stop to really stop Robert Toya to put the ball over the line, and unfortunately, Robert Toya went over and he scored a try from there, and Hugo Savala missed a conversion there, and Josh Papali there came on there for Ronald Volkman when he accidentally got his head uh, elbow there from Nathaniel White, and it was a pretty nasty one. I mean, there was a lot of like blood just like sprouting out from his own nose, and it looked very nasty. And unfortunately, he failed that because it was very nasty. And I think could that be the last of the time that we will see Ronald Volkman in a Premier League jersey, since he is highly rumored to leave the Premier Eels for at the end of this season to go to the Super League. We don't know on what Super League team he is going to go to. And to be honest, like, would you guys rather let go Ronald Volkman to the Leeds Rhinos r- rather than Dylan Walker as a either loose forward or even playing as that 5'8" role. Even though he doesn't have the abilities to play as a 5'8", since he has put on weight after he has debuted as a 5'8" slash center. So yeah, just let me know, people, if you would rather letting go Ronald Volkman to the Leeds Rhinos ra- rather than letting go our most utilized player, Dylan Walker. And yeah, um, moving on from that, there's no one in the chat so far. Dylan Walker, speaking of the devil, comes on there for Jack de Belin. Jonah Pezzett puts up the kick bomb, and then a error there from Jordan Sam Ronnie. He drops the ball as well. Sam Tuivadi was penalised there for a dangerous tackle, unfortunately, and then Tikon Brown comes on there for Tui, and Tikon Brown once again just showing that um, he needs to be played many more minutes than what people are actually saying and what roles is given to him at the moment. But unfortunately, with the roster just changing every single week, with now Ronald Volkman being out, and just with Moses being out, and just with the injuries, and with the roster changing just consistently week by week, is just making the playing style of this group just very complicated at the moment. And us fans, we don't know on where we're supposed to go from here when we have two of our owners that can't even do great deals, and are even and are even and are even in a bidding war against the Perth Bears to try and get Jerome Luai, where Jerome Luai obviously wants to stay in Western Sydney for a year and then go to Papua New Guinea the year after when the Chiefs make the debut. And hopefully we can get him. Apparently, we might get Spencer Lenu, even though I don't think that is going to happen since that has been reported by the Rugby League Mole, and we all know on what the Rugby League Mole uh, uh, is, and we all know that that's not going to happen. So, but even if it does happen for a year, um, the only um the only like um con conclusion that these two signings that can end up being very successful is that these two players can help us actually get into the finals, other than Jason Rolls playing Jonah Pizzett in his wrong position. So if a 2024 Origins halves duo can be able to win New South Wales their Origin series, then why not get us into the finals? So it's pretty much just make or break, and if this does fail, then I reckon that it is time to put uh, protest flags um, uh, uh, in, fr- uh, in, fr- in front of the grounds, and we need to protest and make some clear messages that both Jim and also Mark need to go because they have absolutely got no clue on what they are actually doing at the club at the moment since they can't even make any big marquee signing players. And plus, they can still not see the reason why that not only our men's team is not always fully fit and can get confused with our playing style and with our communication when is our captain, which I do believe that once again, after seeing the effort that we were putting in the first half, Jack Williams as a captain needs to be our captain for now on. Like it's pretty clear. So please, Jason Rolls, just pick Jack Williams as a captain moving forward, especially when Mitch Moses does come fully fit back into the side. But anyways, moving on from that, people. A set restart there from the Sydney Roosters, and um, Sua Wong makes an error. Brian Kelly also makes an error there. Sua Wong was inside the 10 meters there. A set restart from us, and then Egan Butcher was put on report after making a dangerous tackle. Um, what else happens? Joshua Carr conceded a ruck infringement there. Taylor Losalu was penalised there for a late tackle, and then Jack Williams right at the start of the second half, straight from kickoff there, makes a tackle break there, and then he was pretty much clear, and then he sees Josh Publi there on the outside there, and then he passes uh, back to him on his left side there, and then Josh Publi there scores right under the corner there with speed, and then Jonah Pizzett converts us right in front there, 4 points to our six, And pretty much Brian Kelly knocks on the ball, and then Tegan Brown was offside, and Hugo Savala there takes the penalty shot there to make it 6-all. And then pretty much a few minutes later there, they pretty much just kept on coming very quickly after after Tecum's Brown's error there. And then Daniel Tupou makes a line break there after from a crossfield kick, I think it was from Hugo Savallo or from DC, either one of them. They did they did a pretty good job there, trying to catch Isaiah Iongi there, just out of balance there, and unfortunately with Daniel Tupou's height there, when catching. Sorry, no, not catching in the air, but also with his acrobatic skills, he was able to dive over and score in the corner. And Hugo Savala does miss the conversion there. Nathaniel White also comes on there for Taylor Losalu. Saucy for Ketty comes on there for Connor Watson. Harrison Edwards. Look, man, like I I've seen some fans saying that Harrison Edwards doesn't really deliver that much, and whilst that is true in attacking wise, defensively he's actually not that bad. Um, I do feel like that Jack DeBillon did have a better defensive game, but attacking wise, him and Edwards are pretty much similar. So yeah, I mean, there's only much that you can really do in defense when like we don't have that much per possession, and that we have to defend in our own 10 when the Sydney Roosters just keep on just getting the forwards just to push through at our own end there. And yeah, it's just that we still don't have the big like aggressive forwards or like any other like mobile forwards to really just keep on just pushing forward. Other than Jack Williams and Sam Tuivasa and even Tegan Brown, and yes, you can say that some of our injuries, losing Matthew Dory, um, is probably one of them. Maybe Jermaine Hopgood, maybe with his offloading abilities could have helped us out. Maybe Junior Bolo, we will miss something like him with his hard contact runs. We could have had as well, but other than that, there was no really real intimidation like on the same level as what Spencer Lenu was doing. Which this was one of his best ever matches for the Tricolours in quite a while, and there's a reason why that Parramatta might want to actually sign him for a 1 year deal. And yes, I know that a 1 year deal um, is a very silly decision to make. But if we're able to make finals footy and to be able to get some of our young players to experience that finals experience and to be able to bring that around Lorenzo Talatona when he does debut and when he does mature, then these two signings with Jerome Luai and also Spencer Lenu are going to be worth it. And yeah, nothing really too much to really say on that. But Cody Ramsey makes a line break there. He passes off there to Billy Smith, and he scores a try there to make it 14 points to 6. And then Hugo Savala converts the try there to make it 16 points to 6. Talon De Silva comes on there for Kelma Tuolungi, and then the video referee, the captain's challenge was successful, and then Daniel Tupou uh, gets a try there to make it 20 points to 6, as Daniel Tupou, um, he jumps up in the air, and as of usual, he just loves to catch these high balls, as what he loves to do, since he is mostly uh, just just uh, famous for that. And I know that some people might be a little mixed, saying that, well, since he can only score tries while jumping uh, in the air, and I know that he may not always score those acrobatic tries, as what Mark does. Like he still has the experience and the speed, and also the high advantage there, with the humbleness with the humbleness there, just to really just lock in and just time his run, and just to put the ball down. Then there's nothing really much that you can really do about that, because he is a very hard winger to really just stop. And again, like, some people may say, well, he's not really that great, even though he has been scoring a lot of tries for the Sydney Roosters, and also playing for for them. And I think during this game, when he scored this try, I think he has broken a record for uh for I believe for scoring a try in one game, compared to what AJ has been doing this season, when he was crowned the greatest try scorer of all time. But Darren Tupou is up there though, but I don't think he is going to beat AJ and anytime soon, because I don't think we will ever see another try scorer like AJ uh, in the coming century, um, coming. So yeah, Hugo Savala converts a try there to make it 22 points to 6. Ticon Brown comes on there for Sam Tuivati, and Dylan Walker gets a line dropper there, with Dylan Walker also making a error as well. Jonah Pezzett, he puts out a line dropper there, since he was forced to, and then Dylan Tupou there, off from the grubber there, catches the ball, and he goes over there for a hat trick. And Brian Kelly, he gets caught exposed once again. But to be honest, there's nothing really much that you can really do against this player, as I've been saying. So he gets his hat trick there on his 200th game there, and Hugo Zavala converts the try to make it 28 points to 6. Jack DeBellin comes back on the field there for Dylan Walker. And then a line dropper there for Hugo Savala. And lucky enough, Araz Nava became the first ever Kurdish player to score a try in the NRL. And congratulations to Araz Nava to score a try there for the Premier Eels. And it was a pretty good way to really end on a consolation try. Like a player like him, who did struggle to stop players like Robert Toya and many other players as well. And yeah, Jonah Pizzett converts the try there to make it 20 points to 12, and that's pretty much the full time uh, whistle there. Now, look, I know that our defense was absolutely just shocking, but from that hat trick there against Daniel Tupou, there's nothing really much that you can really do about that. And look, I think with our playing style and with the roster just changing every single week, that's also another issue that um, is making the players just struggling to just stay consistent and just to keep on just playing as our defensive structure way. And to be honest, like we had our opportunities to really just to uh, strike forward and just to really put that type of pressure on the Sydney Roosters and just to tire and just to tire them out. But unfortunately, we kept on just losing per position in the wrong areas that forced us just to put on more energy into our efforts trying to just stop the fast play that the Sydney Roosters were trying to create for both Marky Mark and Daniel Tupou. And yeah, it just bought us off from our butts. And yeah, um, I just don't know where we should go from here. I mean, look, I will give us some credit in the first half. I mean, we at least put on a brave effort, and our defense has improved. And I don't know if Jason Rolls is getting more involved in the defense um, type of things for the team, and if so, then we have we have obviously seen Isaiah Iongi improve on his defense from this match. So yeah. Um, Anything else that I'm missing out on this? Um, Look, I think just like overall, there's nothing really much that we can do about forcing Riley Smith just to come back into first grade, since we all know that he is carrying that spectrum injury during when he was out injured and he couldn't return to first grade, because even if he was to return to first grade, then the spectrum injury was going to get way worse, and forcing him to come back to first grade could have been a season-ending injury for him, um, possibly in one of these matches. So yeah, like there's nothing really much that you can really do about the injuries. And to be honest, I think with the coaches that we have at the moment, we have to blame them for what they are doing around Jason Rolls and just not putting in any great common sense into the players' fitness at all, or or even in a defense, or even in an attack when we had the opportunity to actually cause a massive upset, just like on what the Sharks and also the Canberra Raiders did. So yeah, but of course, look, it was a very tough one going into this match, especially with our record being absolutely just terrible uh, at Allianz. So yeah, but hopefully, um, with maybe Jonah Pizzett, maybe hopefully playing as a halfback for the rest of the season. I feel like we should do that um, to be able to get those 2 points, just to be able to continue on to avoid the wooden spoon. Since the Dragons, even though they are still losing some games, they have been pretty close at times, uh, especially against the Canberra Raiders when they actually hit front. So yeah, let's see on how it goes because we do have the bye next week, and hopefully, the boys can be able to practice on their attacking style. Even though um, the whole roster and injury cursed and also everything else behind the scenes, as we all know, with this club being in an absolute crisis, thanks to the clowns upstairs, Jim and Mark, there's just nothing much that we can just try and see on what we can improve on. I mean, is there maybe a rotation plan that we can maybe just try and do with our full pack just to really just put on some hard hits until Junior Bolo comes back. I think he does come back in round 21 along with Ronald Volkman. I think as I read a recent report from the NRL physio. So hopefully um, that when Moses, if he does come back, or if Jason Rolls does decide to actually put him out or even rest him for the rest of the season, as what other fans uh, want wants bloody Cameron Serraldo to do with Stephen Crine after his horror injury. Even though, thankfully, as a NRL fan, not as a Parramatta fan, I am so glad that he is not injured and that the injury could have ended up just way worse when he went down cold against the Canberra Raiders. I don't know how because I only watched like glimpses and pieces of the Bulldogs and Canberra's game, but yeah, I'm very glad that he is alive. But uh, enough about the Canberra Banks and Bulldogs because this is a Paramount podcast and they are our rivals. And I think I have mumbled quite enough about our men's, and let's get into our NRLW side as I got a lot of criticism and a couple of questions to really ask about the NRLW side. So let's crack into the women's side against the St. George Illawarra Dragons at Wynn Stadium. All right, let's see. I do want to see if there are some people in the live chat. No, there's not. Surprisingly, I don't know why. Maybe because I pointed out the live stream notified just a little bit too late. So yeah. Um, let's get into the NRLW match here, people. Now, it pretty much all started here in a couple of minutes in the first half, where I'm just going back over here. It was pretty much kickoff here. Tohiku was penalised there for a hand in the ruck. A line drop. dropper there from Casey Tohiku, error there from Fleur Gin, um, made pretty much the Dragons made make a line break there um, from herself there, and she goes over there to make it 4 points to 1-0, and pretty much Jamie Millard gets a conversion there, and Ravi Lee Alo there was penalised there for a slow peel, and a line break there from Tegan Berry as she goes through there to make it 10 points to 1-0 with a great footwork there and with a speed there, but once again, Fleur again her defense from over on the weekends and also last weekend has been absolutely just shocking. And there's a reason why. Look, even though Flo again has the footwork there and their speed and also that rubber union experience from the Queensland Reds, her defense and also her strength and also her being one of the shortest players in our squad that doesn't really help out the fact that she's all over the place at the moment. And I just feel like looking at the stats from Zalife, as I want to bring up here quickly. So pretty much, where is she? So Zali Faye, yeah. So Zali Faye, she pretty much um had a belt in New South Wales Cup. I'll probably see if she. Hang on a sec, people. I want to see her stats um, during against the Bulldogs. She did score a try, I think, in round one, just before the NRLW season has kicked off. And where is she? She's right here. She did actually play alongside with Fleur again, and during New South Wales Cup, she has scored 3 tries as she's played full 70 minutes, scoring 2 tries against against the Maltese, and she pretty much made a line break there with 4 tackle breaks, 33 post contact meters, 16 recepts there, three tackles being made, only one missed tackle, and she made a total of 96 total runner meters, along with 96 hit up runner meters, and pretty much against the Bulldogs, she made 6 tackles with no missed tackles, and she made a total of 101 total runner meters there, with 17 recepts, with 45 post contact meters, and with 4 tackle breaks with a line break there as well. And she also scored only 1 try, and yeah, like the stats pretty much um uh say all. And Flo again, she did actually come close to score against the West Tigers, but yeah, just with Zalife having the high advantage there, I feel like it is only right to bring her back in for tomorrow's team list um, against who do we have? Against this week, the Gold Coast Titans, which we don't have a very good record uh, against the Titans away, neither against them anyway, since they in embarrass us at Combank. I think it was last season, and yeah, so let's hope that that Zalif Faye does come back in. But yeah, look, Flogan, looking at her stats, like she made about um from a defense there, six tackles being made, and she's missed like three tackles, and like that's just way worse than what Zalife is making. Yes, she did make um she did make the same total of tackles as Zalife. I can't even talk, but yeah, Flogan as a tackle efficiency so far this season has been pretty much 73.3%. Well, there you go, people. She has made 11 tackles, but she has missed four. But yeah, her tackle efficiency hasn't really been that effective. Her runner meters, she has made less in two games. And even though she has made three tackle breaks there, like she's possibly had like similar chances, had about like similar chances than what Zali Faye actually had, and I just feel like even if she does get picked for tomorrow, I feel like that's her last of a chance to prove that the she deserves to be in the first grade squad. So yeah, moving on to the play by play. Going back to this match, uh, Alicia Albert, man to man. I'll go say her ruck speed was absolutely just terrible. She was one of our worst ever forwards, along with Ruby Cheriton, because Ruby Cheriton, sure, it was a 25th game, but looking at her stats once again, and sure, I haven't really watched this full game in de- in de- depthly, but looking from her stats, um, Ruby Cheriton only made 16 or runner meters with six post contact meters. Sorry, and with three hit ups, with the only dummy half run there, with seven dummy half runner meters there, with uh, a, uh, a, a offload, with two dummy passes, um, with 63 passes, 67 receps, and that is pretty good. Uh, Defensively wise, she wasn't really that bad. However, she has missed five tackles, and she has made the most missed tackles out of their whole entire squad. And she has also made two errors, and conceded only one penalty there, so she wasn't really that great, and it was a little bit disappointing that she couldn't really like create anything magical during this game, but you could say that we were just easily just dropping the ball because of our lack of fitness. And who is that to blame? The coaches also surrounding Steve George jealous. And it's all because of the two clowns once again upstairs. And yeah, nothing really much to really say about that. But there's another question that a lot of people have been criticizing from this match, that Casey Tohiku and Rachel Pearson, their ruck speed wasn't that great, and a lot of people are saying, do you reckon that we have to move on from Rachel Pearson and from Casey Tohiku? Because I have said that maybe we could have gone out to maybe sign that Queensland gun, who has unfortunately already signed with the Cronulla Southern Sharks a year earlier. But man, oh man, do you reckon that we should maybe try and like blood some of our young halves from the Tasha Gale side, and maybe from the New South Wales women's premiership side? Do we maybe go for that, or do you maybe think that we should do on what the West Tigers done, just bring in just some type of like experience relationship, um, just um, on what some of our female players do have relation to in the New South Wales State of Origin squad. Like maybe Kenny Sheraton could could maybe work with some of the 5'8s that I don't know on who she can gel with, or maybe on what either maybe Chloe Jackson can maybe gel with, to maybe get some type of short ball in there, since Rachel Pearson just loves to just put up the uh, uh, the bomb. And don't get me wrong, there were some very smart uh, kicking kicking options where she did put up the bomb, and yeah, actually bounced pretty well there, I believe, for Tonte to Fuga, or was it for Ravi Lee Alo there with the head guard on, um, just to receive the ball and to possibly even nearly go clear, to maybe get some type of luck with a footwork there to really beat the Dragons defense there, and just get a try. But look, just judging off from some of the great kicks that Rachel Pearson can actually do, it's still a little bit tricky just to really have that 50-50 core, just to really say, should we move on from Rachel Pearson and also from Casey Torihiku, as well as we all know that Casey Torihiku is a much more better center, in my opinion, than what she does as a 5'8". Look, I'm not saying that she hasn't played terrible as a 5'8", as we can see clearly on their stats over here, that the amount of runner meters are pretty decent. She has made 37 post contact meters, one line break assist, two try assists, and four tackle breaks, along with a couple of along with 13 meters out of dummy half, and just only seven tackles being made and only missing one. So she isn't doing too bad at 5'8". Oh, sorry, no. Making 17 tackles, my bad. I was reading Martha Martelli's stats there. But yeah, look, she's doing pretty good um, uh, as a 5'8" at the moment. But I am just hoping that she can stay fully fit, because if she does go down injured, the same way as how as how Rachel Pearson had a very good start against the Sharkies away in round one there, but clearly Rory Owen and also Harley Murphy are carrying this team once again. With a great fend there from Murphy, just to score over, and with Rory Owen as our Queensland gun player there, just putting the ball down there, and yeah, I just don't know what's actually going on with w- w- women's team at the moment, because I feel like that the fitness, and with certain players that aren't really showing that much effort, I think it's time. I think it's time to ask some of our players, and to bring in more players like Kylie Gray, who had not a bad debut. Like, she had like bloody 18 tackles uh, and zero missed tackles, only playing for 32 minutes compared to what Fuga did. Um, uh, Pretty decent. So yeah, but yeah, man. Like, do you reckon we should play Tess McWilliams as our starting prop, since Alicia Albert, she was really struggling just to get back uh, onto uh, uh, back on side, and I feel like that at start, I don't feel like that she just um, is the right player to really just to get the rock going, and that's because we all know that she has that physicality and that strength to really push herself forward with the offloads that she can make as that female fui fui moi moi, and I feel like that Tess Mi- Mick Williams can be a much more better player there. He can really be better in defense, as we can see over here. For only 27 minutes, she's made 8 tackles, and that's not too bad. Uh, Even though for a prop forward, I know that's on the best, but I feel like that Tess McWilliams needs to be given much more minutes uh, into the squad. So yeah, and she also made more runner meters than what Alicia Alba did by only playing um, 27 minutes as Alicia Albert only played for 36 minutes. I don't know why she only played for that amount of less minutes there. Maybe it's got to do something with an injury concern, which I hope not. And to be honest, if the injury curse is going to continue like this, and if Steve George Jealous doesn't make the big call and to really just axe some players into the squad, then we really need to ask we really need to ask some more questions about Steve George Jealous team selections. So yeah, let's see on how it goes for tomorrow for the team list, and I will give out my thoughts on that since there will be no podcast uh, uh, for tomorrow. But hopefully that's the team list for our NRLW squad will be pretty good, and that's we can see Zali Fade coming back into our squad, and that we can possibly see Tess Mick Williams getting more minutes over Alicia Albert, and we can maybe see Alicia Albert coming on as a big massive impact player just to um, dig in the fatigue into our opponent's forwards while just continuously just putting the pressure into their own in goal area against the Goggles Titans, which that's going to be a very tough game since Jamie Chapman absolutely just sliced the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs at their home ground, and they do have a lot of great speedsters in their back line, and it's going to be a very tough game. I mean, also looking at the four pack, I haven't really seen that much there. I know that Destiny Brill is out for the Goggles Titans. I don't know if she is going to be back in the next round. I'll actually check that right now, actually. NRLW Casual Ward. Let's see. Is there any people in the live chat? No, there's not. But we're about to hit the 1 hour mark. Casualty wards. Let's see. So for the Gold Coast Titans, Boss uh, Kappa, as she is out. Oh, sorry, no. She is suspended up until round 4. For Lane Morgan and for Kelly Joseph and for Jade uh, uh, Herdigan. I don't know how long those three are going to be out for. As you can see over here, I don't know how long they are going to be out for. But for Boss Kapua, she is suspended up until then. But let's see on the casualty wards for the Titans because I'm pretty sure that Destiny Mio Sinapati, she is out with a knee injury. Cheska Elliston is also out with a knee injury there as well. Uh, that is also to be confirmed with her as soon as possible. And let's see on how she goes there as well. But I think we are expecting the Gold Coast Titans to have some of the players back. I don't know who, but I think from the last game, their forwards. Is there any like recognizable forwards that they really have? I mean, they got bloody Takoda Thompson. I mean, that's pretty much Luke uh, Thompson's sister. Natasha Penatani. Uh, Obviously the sister of Tiana, and not really that much recognizable forwards other than Georgia Hale, who usually plays as a lock forward, but I don't know how good she was as a dummy half against the Bulldogs. So hopefully Ruben Sheraton can be able to fix up her defense, and if not, then there has to be some serious questions to be asked about her not being on the same level as her sister uh, Kenny. So yeah, and I think that's all I have to really say about this uh, about both of the men's and the women's Premier League teams. If you people have enjoyed this latest episode of the Blue Garmy podcast, please make sure to give it a like and and subscribe to the user channel, and also give us a follow on both Instagram and also on TikTok, and make sure to follow us on both Spotify and also on Apple Podcasts itself, and that will pretty much do us for for the Monday live show, and I will see you guys possibly for this weekend for our review against the Gold Coast Titans, and um, do a I will possibly do my actual thoughts on the NRLW s- uh, Eels team for tomorrow, and that will pretty much do us for tonight. But as always, go Para.